Americans cannot afford breakfast anymore. That's done. And what am I talking about? This is not clickbait. This is reality of 2025. And in this video, we're going to first go over some data. Then I got the metas with me. You liked that yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how it is in these convenience stores and how it is at McDonald's. So we're going to compare the two. We're going to do a price analysis, what you get for the price. And then we're going to finish the walk with an analysis. So let's go over some of the data first. So make sure you stay till the end so you get all the correct data and you get to see the test. So what am I talking about? We're seeing that depending on which news outlet you watch and what statistics and where you look at your numbers from, it says anywhere from 18 to 40% of Americans on their way from home to work go and grab a burrito, go and grab some snack wraps, McDonald's, and everything else. But now we're seeing a shift from McDonald's to gas station food to convenience stores. And it is alarming numbers because they're saying that McDonald's and these fast food places are 10 to 15% down in breakfast because of price. So that tells me something that the economy is not doing so well if people shifting from McDonald's to convenience stores. And now I want to hear from you. Before I'm going to go back in my car and we're going to go to a 7-Eleven and we're going to go to McDonald's and we're going to go grab two breakfasts and we're going to compare those two together. And let me know in the comments if you on your way to work grab some of that. And one of the crazy things for me is that I've looked at it and people spend about $6, $5 to $6 on breakfast on the way to work. And I can see how that really, really stacks up. Because if you are a working American and you're making $20, $30 an hour, you go to work, costs you gas, costs you insurance, tires, wear and tear on your car. Then you're going to go grab $5, $6 worth of breakfast. And then most likely you're going to eat out for lunch and then you're going to go back home. And so depending on how expensive your area, your cost of living is that can really, really weigh in. Because as you're saying, 5 times 5, 4, you work 5 days a week, times 4 can really rack up. And all of a sudden, you're like, man, if inflation and prices are keep going up and I'm not making more, I need to change my alternative or I'm going to have to start cooking at home. But people are like, I get ready at home, I spend time with my kids, I get them breakfast, and then for me, I just get something on the go because it's just convenient and I can eat on the way. But my little ones are fed, my wife's happy, or my partner, and I'm going to be done with it. And this is just a trend that we're seeing. It's kind of alarming when you're thinking about that Americans are switching from the breakfast lover place, McDonald's, to one of the key factors is economic pressure. Lower middle income consumers are strained. And behavioral change. They'll eat at home. They skip breakfast entirely. Or they choose cheaper alternative convenience stores, grabbing a coffee and something small rather than what they've done beforehand. And value sensitive. When money's tight, consumers become more price sensitive. They might perceive fast food breakfast unless there's a strong value meal. McDonald's has been responding with more value offerings, and we're seeing that. Then McDonald's had to come out and say, you know what? We need to offer more dollar menu, more value meals, and we're going to see exactly coming up here in a little bit what $4, $5, $6 gets you at convenience stores and what it gets you at McDonald's. So we're going to see everything. So competition, there's more alternatives, grabs and go, morning consumers, grocery stores, convenience stores, local cafes, something cheaper and more convenient. And it is absolutely crazy. Marketing and menu innovation lag. While McDonald's has innovated new items, bagels, sandwiches, promo, reversed the trend strongly enough. Exclusively have said that breakfast has not found much traction. And when I looked at some of the other data that McDonald's put out, said McDonald's was 39% of their revenue a few years ago. And now they're starting to be like, ooh, it's not looking so good. So this is reality of 2025. If you're a business owner and you're in business, you have to cater to these customers that do not have to spare extra money. And this is just absolutely crazy when you're thinking about $4 or $5 on the way to go. And these are impulse purchases. These are not purchases that are planned out, and it's like, I need a new couch, I need new tires, I need an oil change, I need to repair my, I need a new garbage disposal. No, these are impulse purchases. These are a sign on the side of the road saying, come now and get a buy one, get one free for $1 or something like it. And you're like, you know what? I'm a little bit hungry. It's $4. Let's make an impulse purchase. And we're seeing that consumers now are starting to pull back and say, you know what? This is not what I want to do. And I cannot afford it because electricity's high, car insurance high, gas is high depending on where I live. So I just can't do it any longer. And this is just reality of the job market right now. And I also think that has something to do with Gen Zers not finding jobs. It takes you longer. So people are starting to get worried. If I do get laid off, those few bucks that I'm gonna save every day and then results into weeks and months can be a nice little savings account for me. Or I can do something else with the money because my job is not guaranteed. It can be one social media tweet away from getting fired. It can just mean that my company's gonna say, you know what? I'm just gonna fire you regardless because we're doing organizational restructuring and you're out the door. So these are just reality. This is just reality of 2025. And I urge you to think about, is it worth doing breakfast at home, or should I change my habits a little bit and maybe go and get something to bake at home before I leave work, or make a breakfast sandwich to go, or something else, and see if that can save you more money or be more beneficial to you in the long run to eat at home. Because we're seeing that 50% of people, or it was like in the 40s to 50s, eat at home. And then there's another like 18% or something, depending on what news you read, said, I don't eat breakfast at all. And I'm kind of one of those people that are just not a breakfast person. I'd rather eat lunch at 11 than eat breakfast. I'm just not a real breakfast person. It's just never really was in my how do you say that? I just never really liked it. And I would also probably not eat gas station food, because I ate gas station food when I went to California once to go to the airport, and I had to drop something off. I think I dropped off a trailer or something. And me and Ali went to California and I ate gas station food, and I stayed in San Francisco, and I still remember it. And man, I got food poisoning at its finest. And then I was like, gas station food? No, no, no. And it was a nice gas station, so I wouldn't eat at a sketchy place. But man, gas station food? I don't know. Let me know if you guys eat that or not. But we're almost at the car. So what I'm gonna do now is we are gonna go and test out these options. And I got the Ray-Bans with me again. Unfortunately, like I said last time, the Ray-Bans do not record in landscape. So I will see you guys after we've been to a to a convenience store and McDonald's. This is the 7-Eleven I went to. Here you can see it on the screen. Let's go inside. It's a little bit shaky, so watch your eyes a little bit. When I do small head tilts with the Meta glasses, it kind of moves a lot. So this is inside, and as you can see, this is a pretty nice one. The snack area is kind of empty, so all where there were heated stuff is already gone. She will confirm that in a little bit, but it looks nice and clean, and I can see how people would just come here because it is a little bit cheaper. So in a little bit here, this woman is going to tell us that there are no more burritos. There's not a lot left besides hot dogs, but those hot dogs I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. So this is kind of the store on the inside. It looks really, really nice. So let's get out of here, and we have to go to the next one. Thank you. You're out. Thank you. We are now at the second location. You can see it on the screen where I went to. This store is a lot bigger, and it also is a little bit cleaner, and it has a more of a heated section. They only had chicken wings left, and that's not a breakfast food, so I did not even go there. But the coffee section was really impressive. They had espressos. That's what I drink every morning, and they had a bunch of other drinks. So let's go see what else they got. So they did not have any burritos or anything else, so I'm gonna have to do a croissant. And a newsflash for you, those croissants, I tried it afterwards, was literally the driest croissant I've ever seen. I couldn't even eat it. It was literally like biting into it desert landscape. It was just so dry. I've never seen anything like it. And I also got the coffee. The coffee was pretty decent for what I got. And for $1.89, this is a really, really decent option for you because coffee at $1.89 is still on the more expensive side, but it was done very, very nicely. So let's get out of here and go to the next stop. And this whole thing only costed about $4.04. So yeah, not a bad price, but man, I would not get that croissant at McDonald's. And we're gonna compare the meals afterwards, and I'm gonna give you my honest review and what I got. And here is the $5 breakfast meal. And what I like about this location is that they're fairly quick with making the food. And so when you go to the drive-through, it's kind of easy to access. It's kind of easy to get out of. Sometimes these parking lots are just so crazy. And this one is kind of pretty easy to go through. And when I go to this one, what you notice is you can go right, left after the intersection. So it's super easy and convenient. So I can see the allure of people actually coming and going. And for $5.42, I think that's a pretty decently done meal. And let's go. Did the test run. We went to 7-Eleven, as you can see here, and we did go to McDonald's to compare the two. So I went to two 7-Elevens, and they were mostly sold out, even though it was like shortly after 8 o'clock when I did this test in the morning. People were sold out. And so this is the best I could do for this test. So what did we get? I got a normal coffee that was at 7-Eleven that was $1.89, and I got a croissant right here from 7-Eleven that was also $1.89. After taxes and everything, it came down to 404. So this whole thing was $4.04. So now let's go to McDonald's. With McDonald's, we got the value breakfast deal. So that's a coffee comes with it. And I got hash browns, a little hash brown, a tiny little hash brown like this. And whatever they got is this kind of Mac sausage here, or sausage McMuffin with egg. So this whole thing was $5.42, and this was $4. So now, if you're strapped for cash, and we're clearly seeing that the breakfast burritos and everything else has been sold out at 7-Eleven. So there's clearly a movement towards 7-Eleven. Do I think that the $5 meal is a pretty decent? I think it still is. If this wasn't on the value meal, I think an egg McMuffin's like $3 and something, and the hash browns also. Without the value meal, 100% would not get this. In the value meal, I'm like, you get a coffee too for $5. Not bad. And this one, I couldn't really test a burrito or any value meal. So if you have better options of value meal with 7-Eleven, let me know in the comments. But yeah, these are the two tests I've done, and I can see why people are moving to 7-Eleven and moving away from McDonald's. But this was kind of the test, so let's kind of walk and finish the video. It's kind of interesting to see the difference in price and in convenience. And I do think that 7-Eleven definitely a runner-up on McDonald's and in the breakfast scene, because they can just kind of do the same thing as McDonald's does and kind of be more of the Japan of 7-Elevens, where if you ever been to Japan, their 7-Elevens have some pretty decent food. And I think gas stations are trying to level up and do give McDonald's and these other fast food chains a run for their money, because there's so much money in breakfast, there's so much money in kind of convenience. And so if you're going to go grab a tank of gas, why not also just kind of grab a snack or a little sandwich? And when I'm looking at all the how this was like sold out, that is something I literally cannot I literally have no plan why it was sold out. So you also have to understand that it was after 8. So I do think that after 8 o'clock, the rush hour, people are going to work at 9. And so when I came after 8, most of it was already sold out. So let me know if I missed a key detail on this one, but I think it's very valid. It's my 7-Eleven, going to be a runner-up for all these places. And yeah, it is crazy that Americans have to um, move away from McDonald's because of prices. And I do think $1.40 or $1.30 in difference, if you do that every day, does have an impact. And McDonald's just brought that back, that $5 meal. So I can totally see it, because $1 over however many days is crazy. So people can then invest that, use it towards electric bill, use it towards something else. And yeah, if you don't have it or you're strapped for cash, a dollar saved is a dollar made, in my opinion. So this is just the world we're living in where people have to think about going to 7-Eleven or getting something like that because they do not want to spend the $1.40 on it. So this is reality for so many Americans. And I think quality food wise, they're probably pretty decent, similar. I don't think that one of them is like, oh my gosh, it has so much better food or so much better ingredients. You guys let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is just how Americans have to decide between getting breakfast or feeding their family or paying another bill that is just out of this world. So this was it for this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.